So what we're going to do now is, again, with that stability, is that arm's going to be locked out overhead, and we're going to keep that and then work into a deep side lunge, right? And then back. All right? And then same thing, we're going to go on the other side, deep side lunge, right? And then back up. The goal here is to keep those legs super straight while working in those ranges, right? Can you get to this position? So watch me, turn around, watch me. So like, can you get to that position, like that? Where do you feel that as you go down? Nowhere, go deeper, go deeper. Deeper, 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 deeper. And the knee? Gotcha, okay, come back up. Okay. Cool guys, come over a second. This is just kind of interesting. And it's a mobility thing that we see all the time actually. So one of the things that can happen in that position, and why we test that, is because people say, oh, it hurts like my knees sometimes to squat or lunge like that. And that's a little bit of a mobility balance thing. So again, remember, 3 things limit motion, right? Either a joint, too young, so it's probably not that, right? A muscle, right? I've watched some other things, some flexibility, or 2 is the nervous system. So it can be a little bit of a balanced hip piece, right? So one of the things we just saw is when it's just going down, right? It's like, all right, if I go here, so to make up for either an ankle-like type of piece, we're going to now dip that knee forward. That's where we put on the toes. That's why we talk about squatting on the heels, because now all of a sudden I just put all this pressure right here on the nose, or on the part of the knee, we're reading forward. So the mobility piece here, and this is where then I would start with not that dumbbell overhead. I would start with literally just your hand overhead and just working in this position, is trying to even hold like with a band, like we had that band in the rack, is to come down, sit on this heel, and what I'm trying to do is really work on keeping my weight back. And you can even use your hands in this position and work in this position. One of the variations of this exercise that's like more intense we work on is then trying to own those end ranges. So this is actually more of a stability issue than it is actually a motion issue. Because this is one of those things where, I'm sure you can do this, right? So if you can do this and that, then that means you should in theory be able to load it. It's the gravity and the loading position, so that's that stability problem that we're talking about. And the stability problem will show up as a mobility issue. So when we look at the variation, it should actually begin to go here, then we want to start to get into here, and then get out in that position, back out, right, and hold it. And that, that's a little more advanced. I didn't even do that cleanly, but it's good. And now try and come back out. Use your hands if needed. Awesome. And then back up. How did that feel in your knee?
Not bad.
Awesome. So, the difference was you were like significantly deeper. So you may begin to cramp and feel here, but that's going to be that end range. And what's good about that is the idea behind having more stability through that end range of motions. When you go to then hit like a snatch, that like you kind of.
I know. I've been catching it like on my toes.
Yeah. The threshold and window for that like snatch where you kind of miss a funny spot will be bigger, where you'll be able to still catch it and hold it. And that's the idea behind it. So it's kind of cool. It helps with that performance side. There you go. Ooh, look. Look at that. Look how deep you are now.
Yeah.
All right?
I'm actually on my heel now.
Right? And that, exactly. So that's yeah, definitely hard. And you can practice that. Yeah. Well, so with your knee in, yeah, from there. And now, yeah, like sometimes, like you can use that foot to pivot. Just use the toe. You can even use your left toe, like kind of like bend your knee. Yeah. So the thing will look like is, so I'm going to go here, right, side lunge. I'm going to turn and bring it in, right. Again, this is where I struggle. Then it's harder. But then the idea is to try and stay tight, hold, and then, I'm going to vary it, but the idea is then to come back up and out. So I'm going to pivot off this big toe. I'm going to use this heel. I'm going to drive it just to give myself a little modification, and then drive up. Oops, see, I'm not even going to be able to do it. Here, hold, and then back. The idea is to try and work on that motion of stability. And we can even start with here, and then back, and then try and work from here, and then out of that position. And that's that end range.